Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers here today. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC, Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, I'm very happy to be with you here today because we are going to be talking about our tongue-tie symposium coming up here at Gold Learning. It is going to be live on September 13th and 14th, 2021. So it is just around the corner. If you're listening to this today, be sure to go to the website at goldlearning.com to register for this event. Now, if you have not been a part of the tongue-tie symposium at Gold Learning before, let me tell you that this is a jam-packed symposium, 10 presentations over 2 days that you can come and listen to. And it really does have the latest research. We have brought folks from around the world to come and educate us and bring us latest evidence, collaborate with you. So there's an opportunity for you to come online live in those sessions and really bring your skills as well and share your experiences and also learn from each other. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Now, if you cannot come live to this event, of course, it will be recorded here. So you'll have an opportunity to come back and listen at your convenience, depending on your time zone, of course. But we would love it if you could come to the live event. Now, I have a special guest here with us today. We've got Dr. Kumar Ankur, who is with us. He's going to be sharing a little bit about himself and the topic. And I'm really very excited because I just got a little bit of an inside scoop on the presentation that he's going to be sharing with you. And let me tell you, there's lots of case studies I know you're not going to want to miss. So without any further ado, please welcome Dr. Kumar Ankur. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you are in the world?
Thank you. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for having me here. So I'm Dr. Kumar Ankur. I'm a pediatrician, and then I got special training in neonatology, which is a 3-year course. So after that, so from 2006, I am doing intensive care neonatology. So I'm staying at New Delhi. It's a northern part of India and capital of India.
Well, that is amazing to think that you were in pediatrics and then obviously moving into neonatology. And I know some of our conversation today talking about, what it's like for you to work with IBCLCs or breastfeeding specialists, lactation professionals, and how that has changed some of your perspective, but also now, you're collaborating as well on staff, which is just amazing. Your presentation, Dr. Ankur, is tongue-tie and the NICU, a neonatologist perspective. So tell me why you wanted to share your perspective with the audience here at Gold.
Fiona, I think the title is the tongue tie and the NICU, the neonatologist perspective. I would rather say that it's a journey. Actually, till 2006, I was doing intensive care. I mean, to saving a kid from the ventilation, saving a kid from the severe GI problem. But what we found that so many of the baby who got admitted in the neonatology or NICU, they are not getting the enough breast milk. So probably in the year 2013 and 14, so we have a collaborations with the lactation consultant IBCLC, and then we found that there is some problem with the oral cavity, and then we thought that this tongue tie could be the reason, because initially we were very hesitant to accept that, because in India the tongue tie means it is only creating problem to the speech rather nothing else. So most of the tongue tie is being operated rather late, maybe probably after 3 year or 4 year. But we found that we found that the incidents were very high in India. So before 2020, the Indian study found that the prevalence was just 0.5%. We did a study, and then we found that it was more than 40 times higher than what it was reported in the literature. And then we started to train the residents. Started to train the nurses, then the other clinicians, other pediatricians, and even the obstetricians also. And then we also got in contact with the other stakeholders, like the National Neonatology Forum of India and the National Indian Academy of Pediatrics. So here we started giving my presentation presentations along with our lactation consultant, then they are starting to somehow they are accepting that, so yeah, it's a problem and it can cause some problem to the the small newborns, creating feeding problem and ultimately landing into the NICU, and sometimes landing with some other morbidities like hyperbilirubinemia, jaundice, and sometimes severe dehydrations. That's how I got into this tongue tie related problems, and then I got some interest in that. So I also got some training and some online training from the gold learning courses. 2 times I did the gold learning courses, and it cleared my thoughts very. Then we started doing some studies and other problem related solutions at our place.
Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, that's really, I mean, it must have been quite eye-opening, I think, for you at some point, because we were talking about even some of your colleagues and some folks in, many parts of India still do not recognize, as do many parts of the world, that, tongue tie can be, can have quite a detrimental impact on the transfer of milk and feeding at the breast. And so you still see those babies come back to the NICU potentially that are dehydrated, perhaps. And this is really all because the lack of recognition in this area. How do you, as a professional, communicate with your peers and your colleagues? How do you share this information now, in regards to convincing them that this potentially could be a problem?
Fiona, that's a very good question. I would say that it is not the sum, but most of the clinicians are still not accepting that this could be the reason for the various morbidities in the newborn. So the actual problem is that while the students are getting training for residency in pediatrics, so none of the chapters are related with the tongue tie, which can lead to some latch problem. So that's a creating problem. When you go into the literature, you don't find any problem related with the tongue tie causing feeding failures and lactation failure, especially in the Indian states. So what we did, what we started with, that we started with our center. I'm working at one of the tertiary care hospital. So we first started to train all the nurses, then residents, and then we started doing some presentation with our clinician, pediatricians, and the obstetrician. And then we did some studies and got it published in the PubMed Index journal. Then they started getting to accept that yes, this can be the problem. And the most important thing, that if you show them with the case capsules like we are going to present during the goal learning online webinar on 14th of September, so then they started accepting that yes, this is the case and they are causing some problem. So that's how they started getting to accept that this could be the reason for problem in the neonates.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, just a little bit of information, I think, can go a long way,
Yeah.
in sharing. And I think, people, obviously, some people are very open to the idea that this, is causing a problem. They want to find a solution. Can you tell me what it's like working with IBCLCs in your NICU now, and having sort of this collaborative care work? Is it helpful? Are you always thinking of new ideas if you have a difficult case? Share a little bit about what that's like for you.
I must confess, Fiona, that before 2015, I was not knowing anything about the tongue tie. So started to learn something about, yes, this is something there in the oral cavity, which uh, can be the problem for the newborn. So Dr. Sachi Baveja is the IBCLC lactation consultant. She was pediatrician and then moved to lactation consultant. I must say that whatever I have learned tongue tie and breastfeeding related problem, I learned from her. So I must say thank to her. And then we started doing some study. We started to teach residents, and we gave some thesis work, dissertation works to the our residents to know actual problem. So I would say that the whatever I know about the tongue tie, it is all about because we all got all the informations from the lactation consultant only.
Well, that is fantastic. I think you're a great example of, I think, a lot of what, IBCLCs and, myself, we want to have those relationships. We want to build on the teamwork. We see a lot of babies, of course, go through the NICU throughout the world. And it's important that we can provide supportive care, collaborative care with our clients, so that we have these good outcomes, because it can be so successful when we're working as a team. So you are such a great example of teamwork and wanting to really step outside of the box and learn more. So I think that it's going to be great learning from you and understanding from perhaps your perspective and, the journey that has happened for you, not only with yourself, but why and how you became interested as well. We'll look forward to having you share some more about that. And then, of course, I know you are sharing, a lot of your cases as well, which are really so interesting. So I know I don't want to give away too much about the cases that you are sharing, but let me tell you, for those of you who are listening in right now, that definitely is going to be a highlight, understanding and learning those case studies that you're sharing, and the videos which you're presenting are absolutely fabulous. So thank you so much. It's going to be great expanding on this topic later on into our tongue tie symposium.
Thanks, Fiona. I'm really, honestly, very exciting to present my all the case capsules to all the listeners. So it would be great to show my the journey from nothing about tongue tie to knowing everything about tongue tie. But still, I am in the learning phase.
Yeah, fantastic. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today, Dr. Kumar Ankur. It's just been great sitting down with you. And again, for all of our viewers, listen, you've got an opportunity here to come and learn and collaborate. You want to know more what it's like, in a NICU, what it's like to be a pediatrician, looking at tongue tie, that type of perspective. We all have so much to give here and learn from each other. So I'm looking forward for you to come and listen to, Dr. Ankur's presentation, and look at all these case studies as well, which are just fantastic. So you can go to the website right now at goldlearning.com, September 13th and 14th. You actually have an opportunity to come and join us for both of those days. You can also buy individual days as part of this package as well, which is fabulous. Dr. Kumar is going to be with us here on September 14th. You will need to go to the website to check out all your local times, of course, and all the details are on there on the website as well. Thank you very much to Dr. Kumar Ankur for joining me here today. And I will look forward to chatting with you, sir, very soon. And of course, all of our viewers who have tuned in today. Thank you so much once again. Bye-bye for
Thank,
now.
thank you, Fiona. Bye bye.